What's going on, Jerome's? So victory Monday for the Minnesota Vikings, but there's a lot of stuff and things going around around the National Football League. So what we've been doing this season, a little quick recap, and there's some very bad teams out there. Sunday slate just wasn't good. Like there wasn't any compelling games except for say Niners and Rams, but I mean there's just a lot of blowouts. It happens, man. But speaking of blowouts, so Thursday night the Patriots are bad. Patriots are bad. The offensive line is bad. And, I mean, their Cincinnati win was kind of a fluke, wasn't it? Like, the Patriots could go 1-16, and I don't think anyone would be shocked. Plus, Jabroni Brisket, you have to give him his flowers because he's standing in there behind maybe the worst offensive line in the game, which is weird because, I mean, Michael Onwenu is a stud. I mean, they have some nice pieces along that offensive line, but I don't know. Now you can see why Drake May isn't back there because Drake May's pocket awareness. Yeah. But the Jets, Rodgers allegedly looking good. Although I chalk it up more to the Patriots being bad. So we'll see. Braylon Allen getting going. I mean, everyone the mom is on Breece Hall. Understandable. But, I mean, Braylon Allen, we liked him in the draft coming out of stupid Wisconsin. I mean, he's just a rolling power ball. Right? And I think people really overthought him. Happens, man. Sunday games. So the Giants go on the road, get their first win against the Browns. The Browns are bad. And I don't know what it is. Like, the Browns defense, isn't that supposed to be vaunted? How did they give up 21 points the first half against the Giants? Now, they did make adjustments and buckle down the second half, but too little too late. And the Browns have a decision to make because Deshaun Watson is looking absolutely atrocious. He's not moving the offense. Frankly, I think Jameis would give them a better shot. For the Giants, I mean, Singletary had himself a great game. Now, Singletary did the thing where at the end of the game, when the Browns had no timeouts, just before the 2-minute warning, he sat down at the 1-yard line so they could try to run out the clock. Just score. I mean, not that there was fantasy football implications, and I'm sure that some people had random parlays attached to it, but it made no sense. You're up 6, right? And also, there was a chance that you weren't going to be able to run out the clock. So, just score. It's fine, man. But Daniel Jones, 2 touchdowns to Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is pretty good. Also, hey, Daniel Jones is looking good. So maybe it was the Vikings defense that made him look like ass. Thank you, week 1. Packers put the bang thing on the Titans on the road. Whatever. So, hey, congratulations, Packers. You're the losingest team in South American history. Also, you got to play the Colts, where Anthony Richardson has just been a turnover machine. Will Levis isn't much better, and the Titans are bad. Also, the Malik Willis comeback narrative, I love it. I love it. Malik Willis out there dicing up his former team, and if Jordan Love plays, great. If Malik Willis plays, great. But either way, like, tough test for the Vikings coming up week 4 on the road. I'm still not buying the Packers, though. Jar had a pick 6 that was just gifted to him. Congratulations. Like, if you have a pick 6 off of Will Levis, it should only count as 3 points. That should be the new rule. And I love that Will Levis has become like the meme of the league. Every single week, there's just hilarity that ensues. He's got to get benched soon, right? Although I don't think they have any options beyond him. But they'll be in the market for a quarterback. Hey, tag and trade Sam Darnold to the Titans. 2 first-rounders. Minimum. Then the Bears losing to the Colts. The Colts are bad. The Colts tried their damnedest to give this game away, but the Bears were just as bad too. And also the Colts were extremely injured in the secondary, and Caleb Williams still threw 2 picks. Right? I know the Bears fans are going to cream in their G's like, oh, he threw for 363 yards. It was very inefficient, and they were in catch-up mode for most of the time. So I don't think that it really counts. Also, you look at Justin Fields going 3-0. No problem, man. No problem. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, $110, 2 touchdowns. Anthony Richardson threw probably the worst interception that you'll ever see in the end zone, in the red zone. It's just ridiculous. Vikings stomping the Texans. We've been over that 17,000 times. But quality win versus a very quality opponent, and it's something that you don't take lightly. Eagles and the Saints. So this game was ugly for a long time. It was 3-0 going into the final stanza. Eagles sack up. Saquon had a long touchdown run to go with another one on the day. Goddard 10 for $170. Hurts was not good. in this game. But defensively, they were able to shut down the Saints. And even though the Saints were at home, it's just like, it feels like they got. Yeah. And I really don't know what to make of either of these teams. Like, you're not scared of the Eagles, and you're not scared of the Saints. And frankly, if Sirianni didn't have a brain fart, like maybe the Eagles are 3-0, but maybe the most fraudulent 3-0 team in NFL history. Nailed it. Over to the AFC, Steelers also moved to 3-0. Great defense. Justin Herbert got dinged up in this game, but Steelers and Justin Fields, like, they're getting it done by hook or by crook. Calvin Austin the third, 4 for 95 and a touchdown. Najee Harris actually had himself a decent game as well. And it seems like the cast-offs, Justin Fields and Arthur Smith, they're actually getting it done in Pittsburgh. And for the Chargers, I mean, just sort of one of those games, right? Because they've been on the East Coast for the last 2 weeks. Herbert re-dinged up his foot. Heineke was in at quarterback. So I still don't really know what to make of the Chargers. Like, they're a tough physical team in Harbaugh's image. They're not going to throw the ball a lot. They want to get it done on the ground, but I don't know. They'll bounce back. The shocker of the day, or one of the shockers of the day. So the Broncos went down to Tampa and just completely lit up the Bucs. And the Buccaneers, off that big-time win against the Lions on the road. But, I mean, the Broncos' defense really stepped up, and they made Baker look silly. And Baker certainly was given away now a couple of interceptions, as well as offensively they just didn't get any flow. Like, Mike Evans was inert. Godwin couldn't build on his momentum. I mean, their number one player is Bucky Irving, pride of Minnesota and Oregon. And for the Broncos, like, Bo Nix showed some life. He ran in a touchdown. He wasn't overly efficient through the air, but didn't really need to be, mainly because the Bucs were just bad. And the Bucs are dinged up, and also coming out that emotional win. But, I mean, to lay an egg at home, that's rough. Panthers, another shocker of the day. But the Raiders, the Raiders had that big-time comeback against the Ravens last week. I think that says a lot more about the Ravens. And the Panthers, all week, everyone was saying, oh, they're the worst team in the league. Oh, they're blah, blah, blah. But Andy Dalton in for Bryce Young, no problem. Andy Dalton's probably winning NFC Offensive Player of the Week, even though it should be Sam Darnold. But 319 and 3 touchdowns. You have a washed old-ass Andy Dalton, and he just walks in and lights up the Raiders. Maybe Bryce Young is ass. I don't know. Chuba with 100 on the ground. Deontay Johnson actually got some fantasy points going. So it just wasn't a good day. Also, Gardner was really bad. So there's good Gardner and bad Gardner showed up today for the Raiders. But and also Antonio Pierce after the game saying the guys were making business decisions, and he's not wrong. He's not wrong, man. Dolphins. So Mike McDaniel without Tua is basically a run game coordinator. Yeah. But pretty much everyone else on the Dolphins didn't show up either. Their offensive line is bad. They couldn't get anything going on the ground. Tyreek and Waddle obviously weren't feasting with Skylar Thompson and then Tim Boyle. So they may just have to ride this one out. Like, now you're understanding why it's like, well, it's Tua decision if he wants to come back. No, they need him. And with the Seahawks are impressive, man. They're 3-0, the only other fellow 3-0 team in the NFC. Geno, I've always been a fan of Geno. Glad that he got his shot. Former Jets high draft choices who busted working out somewhere else. So hot right now. That's right. Zach Charbonnet got it done. No Walker. DK beasted yet again. So that matchup with Seattle in December in the is it Emerald City? Key City? Doesn't matter. Yeah, that one's looming large for the Vikings. The Ravens tried their damnedest to give this one away. So they were lighting up Zimmer's defense on the ground, and then all of a sudden they just like puckered up. How can the Ravens not close into an out anymore? Like, what has happened to this team? Have they tuned out Harbaugh? I don't know, but the Cowboys clawed their way back into this game. Frankly, they should have won, except for CD had that red zone fumble and then pouted the rest of the game. So these last couple weeks, so you see the way that CD acted this week, the way that Jamar acted last week, and the way that the negotiations with Ayuk went. Thank your lucky stars that we have Justin freaking Jefferson, who's all about respect. He's all about team. He's all about business. He's all about taking care of things on the field. Got to respect that, man. And then also you got the Niners and the Rams. So this blew up a lot of survivor pool as well, because you're thinking the Rams, no Puka, no Cooper Kupp, half their offensive line is decimated, and the Niners want to bounce back from that loss at Minnesota. Nope. Even though SoFi was basically all red, I mean, the Rams stood tall, and you knew at the end, like Stafford with no weapons and a bad offensive line, Kyron Williams, they just dragged that team back. It was awesome. Juwan Jennings, 11 for $175 and 3 touchdowns. Juwan Jennings should have been Super Bowl MVP if Shanahan didn't F up. And Juwan Jennings, for a quarter of the price of Brandon Ayuk, is a better receiver. He's thriving, man. Love to see that. Lions. So the Lions had a pick 6 from Jared Goff taken off the board because they said allegedly it got to the 2-minute warning. It didn't. Yeah, but it's okay. Arizona, took a step back. I mean, Lions came to play today. Kyler had an off game. Also, Trey McBride had concussion. It's weird how star players just magically seem to get hurt against the Lions. It's so weird. So weird, man. But not fearing the Lions. The roar has not been restored. They got shut out in the second half, whatever. Then the Chiefs. So the Chiefs wasn't the best game in the world. Was it DPI in the 3rd and goal? Probably. Yeah. But the Falcons had their chances in this game. They didn't get it done. Also, what's amazing is that down at the end of the game, 3rd and inches, 4th and inches, you just run it twice. Like, you don't trust Kirk Cousins at all to throw it or sneak it. I don't know. But respect. I mean, that first drive, Kirk Cousins was dealing. But then that Chiefs defense, respect to Steve Spagnuolo, one of the best defensive minds in the game, and they got things done. Ultimately, they made enough plays. Rashee Rice truly is a wide receiver 1 until he gets suspended. 12 for $110 and a touchdown. So it's looking good. You got 2 Monday night games in the offing tonight. You got Jaguars Bills, and then you got Commies Bengals. I don't like that they should be staggered more. Like, how would you do this? Because I remember they had a late Monday night game. You remember that year where the Vikings opened on Monday Night Football against the Niners, and then Kaepernick just completely tore the Vikings a new one. Because I remember the game didn't end until like 12:30, and at the end it just like, I stayed up late for this. It's bullcrap. But Jaguars at the Bills. I think Josh Allen just completely Superman capes this one, but who knows? Jaguars may surprise. And then you got the Commies and the Bengals. I don't know what to make of this one because the Bengals seems like they should be in panic mode, but I don't know if Burrow can do enough to drag them out of this. And the Commies, I mean, it's a free roll. Like, you're getting a look at Jane Daniels this year. He needs better weapons. He needs more help around him. Defensively, can Dan Quinn start getting this team going? Don't know. But the kind of snoozers of Monday night games, but I guess that fits the motif of week 3. So every game sort of sucked except for the Vikings just completely curb stomping the Texans. We'll take that. But that's it. That's a look around the league. Week 3. Let us know your thoughts. Our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol. Production value.